A constellation is an area on the celestial sphere in which a group of stars forms an imaginary outline or pattern, typically representing an animal, mythological person, or creature, or an inanimate object. The origins of the earliest constellations likely go back to prehistory.
For the first 2 or 3 years after the Second World War, a new title would often sell out within a few months of publication. However, unless public demand for the book was unusually high, they were rarely able to reprint it. With paper stocks strictly rationed, they could not afford to use up precious paper or tie up their limited capital with a reprint.
The starting point of Bergson's theory is the experience of time and motion. Time is the reality we experience most directly, but this doesn't mean that we can capture this experience mentally. The past is gone and the future is yet to come. The only reality is the present, which is real through our experience.
Most rocks are made of minerals containing silicon and oxygen, the most abundant elements in the Earth's crust. There are three kinds of rock: igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. Igneous rocks form when molten rock cools and solidifies. Sedimentary rocks originate when particles settle out of water or air. Metamorphic rocks result when existing rocks are changed by heat or pressure.
Bananas are rich in the mineral potassium. Potassium helps maintain fluid levels in the body and regulates the movement of nutrients and waste products in and out of cells. Potassium also helps muscles to contract and nerve cells to respond. It keeps the heart beating regularly and can reduce the effect of sodium on blood pressure. Potassium may reduce the risk of kidney stones forming as people age.
Lawmakers are pushing a plan to fight what they perceive as a threat to democracy: the sharp decline of local news coverage. The United States has lost 1/3 of its local newspapers in the past decade. Those that remain are operating with far fewer reporters than they used to, as more than half of total journalism jobs in the United States have disappeared over the same period.
Since their emergence, films have played a significant role in the lives of people around the world. Movies have the power to share new ideas and teach lessons about the past or future. Sometimes, films only exist to entertain us. Just like there are many different styles of art, there are many different styles of film.
Being able to understand and interpret facial expressions is a big part of nonverbal communication skills. There are often times in conversations when just listening to the words that someone is saying will only tell you half of the story. Words don't always match how we feel, and our facial expressions often have a habit of giving us away.
A typical fence with a few wires allows most animals, such as lions or wild dogs, to go over, under or through it. For larger mammals, such as elephants and giraffes, we will create large fence gaps that consist of a sloping, loose rock wall. Because of rhinos' short, stubby legs, they are unable to scale these rock piles.
Advanced Robotics is the international journal of the Robotics Society of Japan and has a history of more than 33 years. It is an interdisciplinary journal which integrates publication of all aspects of research on robotic science and technology. Advanced Robotics publishes original research papers and survey papers from all over the world.
The benefits and disadvantages of globalization are the subject of ongoing debate. The downside to globalization can be seen in the increased risk for the transmission of diseases. Globalization has of course led to great good, too. Richer nations now can come to the aid of poorer nations in crisis. Increasing diversity in countries has meant more opportunity to learn about and celebrate other cultures.
Workplace diversity means respecting and valuing the skills and differences that each staff member brings into the workspace. A diverse workplace is an inclusive environment that provides equal rights and opportunities for all workers. In Australia, it is law for workplaces to create a workplace free from discrimination and harassment. Employers are responsible for putting measures into place to overcome employment disadvantage and discrimination in the workplace. Like coffee, plain tea contains just a couple of calories per cup and no sugar. But what's added in it can change that situation. A medium sweet tea and a large iced latte from fast food restaurants both pack about 7 teaspoons of sugar. However, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons for the whole day. Gender inequality is one of the oldest and most pervasive forms of inequality in the world. It denies women their voices and devalues their work. Despite some important progress to change this in recent years, in no country have women achieved economic equality with men, and women are still more likely to live in poverty.
When your hands and feet itch, the right treatment can bring you some relief. How you treat the itching, though, depends a lot on the cause of the problem. It may just be dry skin, which can be brought on by winter weather or too much scrubbing. But sometimes, itchy hands and feet can signal another health condition.
Designers of new nuclear systems are adopting novel approaches in the attempt to attain success.
First, they are utilizing a nuclear fuel cycle that encompasses steps from the mining of ore to the management of wastes. Second, they are evaluating systems in terms of their sustainability, meeting present needs without jeopardizing the ability of future generations to prosper.
A lecture tends to be a one-sided class where you and your fellow students will sit and take notes while a lecturer talks about a specific topic or gives a presentation. This class is information heavy, so taking notes is essential and there may be little time to ask questions. Lectures are the main method for your university to teach you the necessary material.
Varieties of onion differ in size, strength and color. The yellow onion is the most commonly known variety, which has pale golden skin, greenish-white flesh, and a strong taste. Red onions are an attractive, milder alternative to the yellow onion with their shiny purple skin. Spring onions are immature onions pulled before the bulb is fully formed, and can be recognized by their long green leaves.
Canada's first-ever poverty reduction strategy is built on the vision that all Canadians should be able to live in dignity. It is also built on the belief that all Canadians deserve to be treated fairly and fully participate in the development of their communities. To be effective, the strategy must have transparent indicators, clear targets, and tangible actions. The magnetic field is a vector field. At each point it has a magnitude and direction. The direction is defined as the direction of the force that a magnetic north pole would feel at that point. Since like poles repel and opposite poles attract, this means that the magnetic field goes away from the north pole of a magnet and towards the south pole.